All right, everybody, welcome into the 9 p.m. stream, the second of two streams that I, Pugs Parker, do every day here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. The first one is High Noon. That comes at you at 12 noon Central Standard Time each and every day, Monday through Friday. Topics, trends, current events, headlines, anything the world is buzzing about. Try and give it to you in a nice little cheat sheet form. This one, however, the 9 p.m. show, this one is a little bit something. This is special. This is better. This one's called Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. He's James Parker.
Hello. Oh, thank you. Oh my God, everybody's so nice tonight.
Yo, Jeffrey and Byron and Brady. Gotta apologize. We're just gonna come right out of the chutes here. Right out of the bull chutes, James, in the parlance of your East Texas upbringing.
Cattle shoot.
Cattle is not a bull shoot. I thought it was a bull shoot.
It can be a bull shoot, but they don't call it that.
They do in Yellowstone. That's why I only know all of my language. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's how they do it in Wyoming, but
hey,
okay.
Let me tell you something. You're the guy that would know. That's it's your part of the world. You know, I don't know about that stuff. I think I schooled you a couple weeks back on the parlance of South Side of Chicago street gangs. You can teach me some rodeo.
Oh yeah, that was it was the people or the dudes
people and folks. How you question what you ride. You're always got to be neutral. You never want to answer you people or folks because that's how you get shot. You know, just you don't want it, especially when you look like you and me. You don't want to be involved. I'm neutral, brother. I don't ride. I walk. Neutral. All right. So here's why you had to send me a text saying, where's the link? And this is why the show wasn't scheduled. The 9 o'clock show wasn't scheduled until 9:01. Damn dog. Cops came. I was out on the back porch talking to the cops. They were out there in our back greenway area with the flashlights going. I was taking a shower before the show, and I get out of the shower and I'm all wet and I got a towel wrapped around me and I hear the dog just going nuts back there. And I don't know what the fuck the dog usually doesn't go nuts for this long. So I open the door, I'm in a towel, and I'm like, get in here right now. And then I see there's a flashlight back there, right? And I'm like, oh, God, so there's somebody back there. That's what she's going nuts for. So I wander out a little bit more in my towel, fresh from the shower. And I'm like, oh, good evening, officer. It's Highland Park Police back there. Somebody called. Neighbors called on the damn dog again. The dog was barking. The dog chose the moment for me to jump in the shower, apparently, to go absolutely nuts out there on the back porch. James? This will be a nice relief for you, a respite from your dog, your dog problems that you have when you come visit. This dog is not long for this place. It is. Cool. It is not. I mean,
I wish it worked out, but I'm not gonna miss him.
It's just no, you're not. No. But the dog is just. Obviously, it's not my call. It is the owner who has to put up with all of this stuff. But I couldn't. I'm just saying, it's already been floated. It has already been mentioned. It has already been said. Not by me, because again, I have no say so in it. I'm just the dog uncle. But if we're being honest, I have some concerns moving forward about this dog not attacking me, not attacking my son, not attacking E, and not attacking E's son. The dog seems extraordinarily protective of the four of us. But anybody else, I mean, what happens when you know, it's Dom's dog, you know, Dom's the kid in that house over there. It's his dog. What happens when Dom comes running into the house after school with some school friend, right? And the dog goes nuts.
He's dead.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know. I have some real concerns. It's such a bad dog. CeeLo is such a bad dog, and yet also so wonderful.
No, not wonderful.
Take her out back. You got an old yeller, this dog.
Yeah, you do. You do. Take her out on a hunting trip, and only one of you comes back.
She's just, I love her, but she's not.
Have you ever mercy killed anything, Pugs?
Yes. Okay. I mercy killed a coyote by dropping a giant landscaping rock on its head.
That counts.
Yeah. My dog Blue, who was a Husky Timberwolf hybrid, she got into a fight with a coyote. We were out while I was walking her in where I lived in Chicago, Orland Park, and she was down by a creek, and a coyote came along, and they started doing that thing where they circle each other. Have you ever seen two animals when they're
Oh
like
yeah.
circling? Oh, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, geez. And I'm really worried because, the coyote isn't going to be taken to the vet with a $600 vet bill, right? But my dog
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
My dog. So I'm freaking out and I'm throwing rocks at the coyote, and the coyote would not back down. And then they engaged, and I don't know. My Blue got the best of it, and Blue like ripped open the dog's throat, like grabbed her right by the throat, and just started. Blue was a little bit bigger than the coyote, and just kind of started throwing her. And the coyote was laying there when it was all done and twitching and all that stuff. And I just reached up and picked up a big landscaping rock and just smashed it on its head and then pushed it into the water. It was the only thing I could do. I wasn't taking the
Good to
coyote
hear.
to a vet.
No, no, good to hear.
What
You
about
did
you?
the right.
You
You
did
did the right.
all
Oh, yeah, lots of stuff.
right? Lots of stuff. I got one traumatic incident that I will never forget. And you're like, too many to name.
Yeah, I can't even remember them all. One of the funniest ones was our mutual friend Dell. When I was living in New Orleans, it came up and I was staying with him. And I mean, I had just been on the road for like 6.5 hours coming from New Orleans. And when I got to his house, he's on his front porch and he's like, "Hey, good to see you. Come here." And so I come over there and I'm like, "What's the deal?" And his cat Zelda had caught a bird, like not a baby that had fallen out of the nest, but this was a pretty big bird, and caught it and kind of ate sort of its guts, and it was just
Mm.
sitting there like chirping, like. "Meow, meow, meow." And I'm like, "What's the deal?" He's like, "Man, I need to kill this thing, but I just can't do it." And he was holding a brick. He's like, "Can you do it?"
Yeah,
I was
sure.
like, "Oh my
Slap.
god." Yeah.
You're like, hey, let's have some fun. You got any fireworks? Let's make this an event. Let's make
No, 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 no. You respectfully put it out of its misery, you monster. Now he's like, no, I'm not the monster. He's the monster for sitting there being such a pussy. Lets an animal just suffer. I'm like, how long it been there? He's like 20 minutes. I'm like, you just been sitting there with the brick in your hand, like looking at this.
Well, he's not a monster, but his cowardice caused more pain than that bird needed to be experiencing. That's for sure. I wouldn't
Well,
say he's a monster because of
I was trying to explain to him that if he was in Saving Private Ryan, he'd be like the guy that pussed out while the German was killing the guy from Dazed and Confused. You know?
that. Put me out of my misery, man. I can't. I can't. I said, no, yes, you can. You must.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The damn dog. Damn dog. Oh God. I was
But it's just barking this time, right?
Yeah, but she barks a lot, man. She barks a lot. She barks at everything. She barks at birds. She barks at squirrels. Dude, she sits. We are in the flight path of Love Field because Love Field is only about, I don't know, 2, 3 miles away.
Yeah.
She sits in the backyard and will just bark at planes. Planes. Ow, ow, ow. Like she thinks they're like giant birds invading her
Oh,
yard.
you know what this means? This means your neighbors all hate you.
Well, now,
Don't give me
well, I
some tolerate it better than others, but
well,
all of them have noticed.
here's what I know about our immediate neighbors on either side. We have a little old lady with a couple of little teacup doggies who live just over on one side of us, and she loves the dog. She always comes back and she throws treats up on the back porch, and I talk to her, and she's like, "He's so beautiful." So, and she's got like a super mansion, so like maybe the sound doesn't penetrate her walls. Maybe she's just, she's. And then the people on the other side of us, they have 3 golden retrievers who between the 3 of them bark just as much as CeeLo. So I think they're probably just as concerned about their dog. And so that, it's not, but it to be true, yeah, our neighbors right across the greenway, the person who keeps calling the police on CeeLo, yeah, that person obviously hates her. That's Dr. Fessenfuss or whatever, some doctor who's like a total dick. Yeah, he's a doctor. We know who it is. We found out who it was, who the person calling is. But I'm
Look at
telling
all
you,
these deranged commenters with their mercy killing stories over here.
ooh, mercy killing stories. Jeff has killed 3 dogs in 35 years.
No, I think he's had 3 dogs in 35 years.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Or no, maybe he's killed 3 dogs in 30. I think you're right. I was trying to be
Yeah.
nice. 2
Jeff.
horribly hit by cars, then I picked a fight with a coyote and lost.
Oh God. Jeez. Brady says, "Hey James, check out this bird. Would you smash it up?"
Yes, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It took that long.
Dell's cowardice. You stood up and you did the morally correct thing. You put that bird out of its misery.
Well, and I'm also kind of pissed. It's like, why you make me do this? Like, why can't you take care of this 20 minutes ago? And I got to get out of a 6.5 hour car ride. And first thing I got to do is a mercy killing just to get in the front door. God damn it, dude. Yeah, good host you are. I'm sure the charcuterie board is going to be fantastic.
Why are you putting that on me? Why now I'm like Dr. Death showing up? Yeah, I don't know. You got to do it. I am always amazed. Like, have you ever just been in your daily life walking around out there and you just see like an animal that's like jacked up? Like, I'll give you an example. Famously, we were doing a remote once from a car dealership, me and Kelly. And there was a bird at the car dealership that was just hopping around on the sidewalk, right? And Kelly and I got distracted by this bird hopping around on the sidewalk because this bird had one leg, just like one leg. And it's just like hopping around. Fine. I mean, it's fine. It's not like, oh, my one leg. It's like it lost the leg like months ago, or whatever. Like, it's just a thing. And now it just has one leg. So this bird, we got into this conversation about these wild animals and how they have these traumatic events in their life. Like this bird, something really bad happened to this bird where its leg was just ripped from its body.
But is he complaining?
No.
No.
He's eating popcorn from the
animals are crazy.
And I'm like, good Lord, imagine those wild animals are just tougher than humans. We've been softened by what do we call it? Medical advancements.
Have you ever seen one of them dogs where they get whatever the disease is and their back legs don't work anymore? So they just drag themselves around by the front legs.
Hip dysplasia.
And they look like Ivar the Boneless from Vikings or whatever. Yeah. They're just like not wagging their tails, but you can just tell they're happy.
Sure, they're happy. They're
having a good time. They're like, hey, treats. Oh, I love treats. Let's go. Hey, good to see you. How was your day at work? They get all excited and stuff, but their legs are just back there like flopping around. Oh, it's like it looks so awful, but they seem happy. They're just whatever. It's cool.
They don't complain.
Yeah, my legs don't work. Whatever. What do you want me to do?
The animals
is that bacon bits?
Animals do not know that complaining is an option. They just it's not in their playbook. They muscle through.
That's and I always thought you ever go fishing?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I always thought it was funny how casual the fish were when you're just starving them of oxygen. They're just like slowly suffocating in the air, and they're just like,
well, this is my thing now. Well, I don't know.
Like that's it. That's what they did. I'd be freaking out, starving, flailing around, and they're just like, nah, just slowly die out.
I will never forget that one-legged bird. That one-legged bird. 20 years ago, that one-legged bird is still burned into my memory. Just a hero. Bird.
Duke's? Is this where this was?
That was a car dealership. Some car dealership, right. Like out in Arlington. And we were inside in the showroom, and they have the big glass, and then right on the other side of the glass is a sidewalk, and they had popcorn machine, and there was popcorn spilled on the sidewalk, and this little one-legged bird is just hopping, pecking, and eating the popcorn, just being a bird flying a couple of feet away. And we just stopped the show and just kind of started talking about this bird and what its life must be like. It was, All right, you want to do a monologue, James? Is that something you're into these days?
Yes, sir.
All right, James does a monologue each and every night. We started out like this, and here it goes. Hit the monologue, ladies and gentlemen. Go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Monologue, play. All right, welcome into the Comfort Nest Lounge, high atop the 1%er guest house, patrolled ferociously by CeeLo, but not long for this property dog. He's a man of mirth, a global sensation, a comedy icon. Please welcome to the stage, James Ezekiel Parker.
Thank you. Oh, you guys are so nice. Recreational marijuana now legal in New Jersey since yesterday. Former Governor Chris Christie actually had opposed legalization, but weed isn't for everybody. Could you imagine Chris Christie with the munchies? In Japan, 119-year-old Kane Tanaka, who was recognized as the world's oldest person, just passed away. The cause of death was CeeLo. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's too soon.
Timing.
Oh,
Bad timing. That dog's on death row.
that's horrible timing. According to a new study, cheat days are the key to a successful dieting, which is encouraging for me because today's my 26th cheat day this month.
Oh,
I'm doing good. I'm doing so good. April is Alcohol Awareness Month. According to the CDC, 38 million American adults report binge drinking an average of 4 times a month. Yeah, man, this is great. I've always known I was above average. So
there he goes.
cheapers, guys. And finally,
short monologue tonight.
is that a complaint?
No.
Happy birthday to former First Lady Melania Trump, 52 years old, literally the hottest First Lady in the history of America.
Wrong.
What are you going to say, Dolly Madison? Because that's my number 2. She married Donald 17 years ago. They're still hot and heavy, though. She's hot. He's heavy.
She is the only first lady that I've ever seen completely naked, which is an interesting development for our political discourse in this country. We can now have discussions about, the pubis region of the former first lady.
Yeah, Barack Obama's mom was the first one we saw naked. First president's mom we saw naked. Yeah. I thought that was gross.
I don't think that's true, but go ahead.
No, it is. It's out there.
No.
It's an easy Google. Go ahead.
Yeah, not true. It's been debunked, but that's fine. Right-wing radio just ran with it, so that's fine. that's fine. It was put
I
think
that's his mom.
We don't need to get into it, but yes, I do know the story you're talking about. And see, the news that I get is different than the news that you get.
Well, this isn't news. This is.
Well, it was a hit piece, and it was designed to embarrass somebody. It was not, not nice.
Oh, no, I don't think it was embarrassing. I'd be all right if that was my mom. Naked picture.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be all right with
that. Wasn't that bad though. You don't think your mom has nudes floating around?
No, I'm absolutely positive that my mother and your mother doesn't have them either. How dare
I know, but listen, it's so hard. She doesn't, but it's so hard to judge because in the age we're living in, who doesn't?
I don't know. Yeah,
that's just a typical part of dating is the girl sends pictures, and so there's pictures of every girl. Dudes don't. I mean, some dudes send pictures, but I don't because no one wants to see that. Girls aren't like us, but there's nude pictures of every girl that is under like 40. In 2022.
Wilsey says that my news is the only correct news. My news is the right news. My news isn't designed specifically for political inflamement. So yeah, when something gets put out there and it's passed around and it's joked about, and then somebody else comes and fact checks it and goes, yeah, okay, see, this is not real. This was doctored or whatever it was. I don't remember what the story was, but I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, I would say yeah. Oh, so you think? No, so you think? I mean, what this is the level of discourse that we have in this country. Okay, fine, whatever.
Dude, we agree to disagree. It's fine. Who cares?
There you go. Exactly.
Who cares if it's correct or not? It's funny to say and move on to the next thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's Melania looks very good naked 20 years ago. I mean,
well, for 52, it still counts.
The lesbian pictures are the ones I'm talking about. Where she's cuddled up with the other girl. That's she was in like 20s then when she was doing that. Classy,
Yep.
All right, that's a shot. I know you.
That doesn't bother me. It's not a shot. Dude, she was a supermodel, and they like to do like.
She's a high-end escort. That's what
they
she
like. They like to do these little racy things and be all edgy and stuff. And I'm glad I got to see her naked. It's fine by me. She's hot.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, she was hot. Before she became politically polarized. Yeah, I thought he had a hot chick. Well, of course he had a hot chick. Donald Trump wasn't going to be with an ugly.
Wait, does the political polarization bothers you? Because I would. Really?
Yeah, no, I hate her guts. I think
Oh,
she's a Slovenian whore. She's a prostitute, and I think
well,
that she denigrated the office of the first lady as badly as he denigrated the office of the White House. Yes, that's a it's a joke. It's a joke office now, and that includes the person who's currently in there because I'm no Biden fan either.
yeah. Well, it was a joke off. It's long before that, dude. Um, okay, so like, I see Alyssa Milano, who's pretty polar opposite from me, and it doesn't bother me one bit on whether if she like showed up and she was like, "Hey, you want to smash?" and I was like, "Hey, wife, is that okay?" and she was like, "Sure, it's Alyssa Milano." I'd be like, "Cool." The politics would not bother me for a second.
See, she drives me nuts. See, I used to be very attracted to Alyssa Milano. I am of the Who's the Boss when she was Sam Misselli, and she was really
Oh,
she
wasn't she?
drives me insane.
She
I
was
find
like
her
2 years older than me, and there's nothing hotter when you're growing up than a girl who's like 2 or 3 years older than you. They
yeah.
look. Oh,
See, that's interesting because I do lose attraction for people once they reveal themselves to be a fool, and I think Alyssa Milano is kind of a fool.
what if you're a fool?
I might be, but that's for me to figure out.
Those are
I
rough rules you got there,
If they
man.
are, hey, I'm not getting laid anyway. So,
Oh, maybe we're on to something here.
yeah, no, that is it is true though. I mean, it's why I got off Match. I would be matched up with people, and then we'd go out, and I'd hear them talk, and I'd be like, "Yeah, you're not attractive to me anymore. Got to go to the bathroom," and then I'd leave. Actually, that's not true. I'd never do that, but it was, yeah, it was. I got out of the dating world. I can't. I don't want to have. eh,
You couldn't date someone who doesn't politically match up with you.
No, not at all. No, because I
That
wouldn't
is
have any respect
wild.
for him. I would not have any respect for him. Not politically match up with me because there are people who are like I could certainly date a conservative and I could certainly date a Republican woman, but there is a certain variety of that breed that exists now that no, I absolutely could not because I would have no respect for them.
Well,
I would
Melania Trump fits that bill. I don't know where she stands on Social
uh,
Security reform or
No, no,
crap
no.
like
She
that.
just seems like an awful person. She just seems like a truly awful person. She seems like a morally bankrupt woman. I just don't.
Like kind of that shark eyes, just married for the money, obviously,
Yes,
and
yes. The whole, sex for money thing. She doesn't seem morally sound. She seems like she's a princess. She's very much off with their heads. She seems to be a very much an Americanized Marie Antoinette type, and that's not attractive to me. I just don't like her.
wasn't she like working class growing up, and she just happened to be like a model or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I know the part of the world that she comes from, and I've known a number of people who come from that part of the world, and they're not
You,
nice people.
you know,
It's a very hard
Slovenians.
life. Yeah, shit, yeah. I know.
Wow. Is
No,
there
you
like
know
a
what?
neighborhood Chicago of Slovenians or
Yeah, no,
something?
you know what, James? You're right. I guess I don't know for sure Slovenians, but I do know people who grew up in the Eastern Bloc nations. Lots of them. I mean, yeah, my where
That's
I
such
came
an
from.
interesting part because that's the only part of Europe that's like at war all the goddamn time.
Dude, didn't I tell you about the story about Ed who runs Radio Misfits? He used to run in the early days of Melania is a true American success story. She married a billionaire. I guess you're right. I guess. Um there was I I worked or I oversaw an operation for a time that was one of those early webcam kind of operations,
Yep.
where and all of the girls, and this was in Chicago, all the girls that were hired were these immigrants, these Russian, Ukrainian, probably some Slovenian immigrant, whatever. They were all there. And there was one girl, and maybe Ed can pop into the chat room and tell me her name. I don't, but I became friends with her because she was so fascinating. And she was beautiful. Women in that part of the world are absolutely beautiful. But she we got into a conversation once about why she came here. And it was the most gut-wrenching life experience for, like, a 22-year-old girl that I had ever heard in my life. She was The story basically started like this, "Well, it started when I was in 6th grade, and I looked out my school window, and I saw the tanks running over my brother who was playing on the monkey bars." I was like, "Oh my god, what?" And then they came and they burned down our village and the house, and we had to live in a ditch for 2 years. And then seriously,
I
the
know these are
story went
horrible stories.
it
God.
went on and on. And she was so like hardened by, and you'd have to be. You would, I mean, that's just a natural life experience. She was not like a girl raised in the suburb who was like, "Oh, cut it out." She was like, "I will cut your dick off and shove it down your throat." You know, she was like very aggressive. And I found her incredible. I stayed on her good side, you know, but I found her very interesting. And we used to sit there in the middle of the night when slow times, and she'd sit in my office, and she'd just be. I remember we would watch Survivor because for some reason it was like in the early years of Survivor, like season one, and Survivor was just they reran it on CBS like at 11 o'clock at night or something or whatever. It was before they had like, you know, late night programming on CBS. And I remember that was the thing. We were sitting in the office watching Survivor. And I go, I don't think I can do this. And that's how she got into the story of why she came to America.
She must have found Survivor hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Like, I want to kill all of these people.
I don't want to be politically divisive. I just don't. I just don't like Melania Trump. I certainly. I admit that if I had ordered an escort and she came in my hotel room, I would have done exactly what Donald Trump did. I'd have been very, I'd have been very.
See, I've only really known one Eastern European person. See, I don't come from a giant city that has all these little pockets of ethnicities. Like, I don't know any Greek people. But I
Oh, I
only
do.
known. Yeah, exactly. But they have a whole neighborhood. It was probably adjacent to the Irish Catholics or something, or y'all had like some hand signal through a
No,
sneaker on a
but I know
telephone cord
I
or
know
something.
Greek people here. I know Joanne Rizzo's Joanne and her whole family. You know
Wait, the Euro people?
no, they own the lodge and they own a bunch of other restaurants here in
Oh
town. You know, Nick,
yeah.
come on,
Oh my
Nick, come on,
god.
baby, you'll love it.
I
Nick,
know. Yeah, yeah,
awesome.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, Greeks are wonderful
Euro,
people.
Euro,
Yeah,
Euro,
gyros,
Euro.
gyros.
Um, yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's not like a family friend that comes over and eats dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying I've only known one Eastern European, and it was when she was like 37 and I was 24, 25, and she was just wildly inappropriate in a good way, but like even for me, it was funny. She's like, "Hey, your store." We worked. When I was working at the vitamin store. She was working at the store that was across the hall,
Mm.
and so she would come over if her store was empty. She'd be like, "Our stores are empty. Let's go in the office. I sucked your dick."
What?
Yeah, and
What?
look, she's not really that attractive. I mean, she was pretty cute, but I
Hold
had a
on,
girlfriend.
hold on.
I
Can
had
I
a
see
girlfriend.
time out here for a second? The other day, I was trying to have an anatomically appropriate conversation about female grooming habits in the modern age, and you silenced me because you were fearful that that was not content appropriate for some dream demo that we're making. And now you just offer that up, and you don't expect me to push back?
So I said no.
Okay, does that make it better?
But she would just be inappropriate like that. Sometimes she would come over and she'd like, "Would you like to see my breast?" And she would just like pull them out and like, "You have to put that up." If a security guard like walks by, like someone calls the cops, and I'm the bad guy here. Like, there's right. You're only gonna get me in trouble, and you're not hot enough to go to jail for. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Were you
Yeah.
married at the time? No, this was
Oh my God, no. I was dating Nikki. You know, the girl that
oh, yeah,
I
okay.
was dating when I first got on the show.
Mhm.
Um, and like if you're gonna cheat, you're not gonna cheat with that.
Will says my wife is a hot immigrant. She's the best. Will, what country is she from? What nation is she from? Because I have a real attraction to immigrants. I not wait a second. Hold on, time out. Like I love people. I love beautiful women who have a worldly expression. Mexico, she's a
That doesn't count. That's
it
next
doesn't.
door.
It kinda counts. Oh, 'cause, I dated man, early on in my time here, I dated a woman from Mexico. She was she was something else. She was I loved the way she talked. Like, it was really woo! She never cooked for me, though. I understand that's their forte. They're really good.
Well,
When you
some
dated
of them.
yeah,
It's hit or miss, really.
yeah, yeah,
That's
no.
not really that exotic. Most of us down here are related to Mexicans, and if not, we went to school with them growing up. So that's not. They're our neighbors. It's not
Not
like.
me, though. Not me,
Well,
though.
it's not
That's
exotic.
the
Like
difference.
Like when you meet Alessia from Sardinia, you know, it's part of Italy or Corsica or whatever. But that's like real exotic.
I didn't know any Mexicans growing up. We didn't have any Mexicans. We
Y'all had
didn't
neighborhoods for everything but Mexicans?
yeah, we didn't have any Mexicans.
Okay.
We had this guy, Tony Sinopoli, and everybody used to call him Mexican, but he was Italian, so he was like the closest thing that we had. He used to get really mad because we knew he wasn't Mexican, but he kind of looked like he could be Mexican.
Yeah,
So
right.
so he used to get really mad because I'm Italian. I'm not a Mexican. Like, yeah, right, whatever.
Hey, you
Yeah.
know the litter Indian's Italian. Is an Italian guy.
The
You know
what?
the one tier litter Indian from the PSA.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's an
From
Italian
Brooklyn.
from Louisiana.
No, I thought he was from Brooklyn. But yeah,
Uh,
you're right. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right. Yeah.
Iron Eyes Cody, I believe
Iron
is
Eyes
his name.
Cody. As depicted in a Sopranos episode.
I didn't know that. I remember having seen The Sopranos.
You've never seen The Sopranos?
Well, I've seen a few episodes here and there, and it's pretty cool.
That was oh god, you need to binge the
You've had
whole
this reaction
fucking
before, I
Sopranos. I
know.
don't understand why you don't. Um, the plot, the story arc was that they were trying to ban Columbus Day, so of course all the mafia Italian guys were getting pissed, and it was the Native American Indians who were coming together to ban Columbus Day in Newark, New Jersey. So Paulie Walnuts and all the guys, they found themselves in court in a court battle with the Native Americans, and the high-priced mob attorney that was hired by the Italians, he brought a rolled-up poster of Iron Eyes Cody to show that in fact Iron Eyed Cody was an Italian, and they went into his whole backstory and about how he faked being an Indian, and yeah, that is how I believe most people. That's going back to like 2000, year 2000. It was an early Sopranos episode. So yeah, I mean it had been rumored that he wasn't, but that was the point where like everybody started going, Iron Eyes Cody. So I assumed you had seen that episode because it's a very
No,
famous
I just know that
episode.
because I'm a psycho, I guess.
Well, you're smart. You're well read. You are informed. All right. What else? We talk more about immigrants if we want. It's kind of treacherous ground. We'd be, but
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
what's the problem there? Yeah, no. Anyway, I had no Mexicans. Yeah, we had no Mexicans. There was like a Mexican neighborhood, Pilsen, in Chicago, but they didn't really branch out into the suburbs. We had a lot of we had in my particular neighborhood, the most exotic people that we had were Filipinos. We were lousy with Filipinos. A lot of Filipinos. A lot of them. And they're close to Mexican because a lot of them are named Gonzalez and Perez and stuff like
Well,
that.
so do you know about the Tongans in Euless? That
I do
I th-
I have heard tale, yes. So
yeah.
explain this now for people who may not know. There is a large what is that called? Polynesian community somewhere.
Well, there's like it's these there's like a little group of islands, but really just these two big ones, and they're both like sinking
Mhm.
pretty quick. And so they all decided they're going to move to like three different places in America, and one of them is Euless in the HEB. And so I had a friend back when I was living there, freaking 15 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever it was. Um, and she said in high school in Euless, 1/3 of the students were Tongan just at this one school because they all tried to stay together so they could try and keep their culture together, you know. And
I
so
bet the
Euless is
football team has a quarterback who passes for 5,000 yards. He
because
never
he's got all day.
he's
Yeah.
got all day. He's got a massive
Well,
Samoan or Tongan offensive line that he just hides in that pocket.
the one thing I did notice is there's like a little strip, like a hangout strip mall with a bunch of bars in it, and every single one of them, the doorman is some giant Tongan dude.
Yeah. What would that be? Tonglanese? Is that what do those people
I
call
actually don't
themselves?
know. I think it might be Tongan or something. No,
Tong
that doesn't sound right. No, because they show up. The only other place I've seen them really represented is in like the rugby tournaments, you know, where someone's got to come out of the Oceania Conference and they're going to play like South Africa or something.
Do you know I never met a Vietnamese person until I moved to Texas. Texas is lousy with Vietnamese people.
Yeah, New
Lousy in a
Orleans
good
had a
way.
ton, and it was fantastic. Like there were Vietnamese neighborhoods, no crime, no shootings,
Why
excellent
not?
shrimp. I don't know. I don't. They just don't shoot each other.
The boat people who came from Vietnam, they settled in the Gulf. because it's the closest environment to what they
Yeah,
need.
they're incredible shrimpers,
Yeah.
and they eat the hell out of that too. And they'll go they'll go up to like Pontchartrain, like it's just the lake that's above New Orleans, and they'll just wait out there and like pick up a bunch of clams and stuff, and then like take it on to the beach and eat it. They just bring like big cooking utensils, and they're like, "Hey, man, free food."
Guess they don't have listeria in Vietnam. It's not something they're concerned
They
about.
they cook it. They have like a big
Okay.
crawfish pot, and they
All right.
cook it with like a ton of ramen noodles or something.
All right. Very good. All right, James, you got anything today? You got anything you want to discuss? You got anything you want to jump in with first here?
Hang on. I closed my notes on accident, so I'm not gonna fill with anything clever. You're
I
just gonna
mean,
have to wait.
we can do a game where we just throw out different immigrants, different ethnic groups, and we just give our hot takes on them. That might be fun. We could probably do the next 20 minutes on that. James, people from Poland, go.
I have never. I don't think I've ever met one.
Never met Polish people. Again, Eastern Bloc. Got a lot of experience with Polish people. Nobody will clean your
Oh
house
wait, I
like a
do know
Polish
what.
clean lady.
I did work with a girl that was Polish in. She was in the sales department when I was at iHeartMedia in New Orleans, and her name was Anna, and I had no idea she was Polish. But we went on a sales call, or no,
She was
it was
blonde and beautiful, wasn't she?
no, she had brown hair, but she was a 10. Like she was
Yeah.
ridiculous beautiful.
Polish women are ridiculously gorgeous.
Like
All Eastern Bloc.
I was just so happy to be in her car, right? And so me, her, and another one of the hosts, we went out to a car dealership, and I shot some video to put together for pre-roll ads on the website.
Mhm,
But we're on the way, and her cell phone rings through the car dash, so
mhm.
she picks it up, and she just starts. It's her mom, and she starts speaking Polish back and forth, and I'm like, I have never heard this language. What in the hell is this like? It could be anything. It could be like, are you from Kazakhstan or Estonia, Finland? I don't know, man.
They
What
all
the
blend
hell?
together, those dialects. They
I
all
have
sound about
no. And I felt really ignorant because I was like throwing out a guess. I'm like, what are you like Czech or something? Because I knew it wasn't German.
same thing. Czech is Polish, same thing.
Well, yeah, they're both Slavic. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I never heard that, and like it didn't quite sound Russian. Like I can do the Russian accent and everything. It wasn't like an Ivan Drago.
She ever like call you up in the middle of the night and ask you to come over and help her change a light bulb?
Ah, I see what you did there,
See what I did there? Polish jokes.
man. No, she was wildly competent, but she was one of those girls that when she would go out of town, she would put her dog not in a kennel, but like in a puppy resort. What? That wasn't a joke.
I
That
don't know.
wasn't a
Could have
joke.
been.
No, they
Hey,
have like dog resorts for when you go on vacation. It's like, nah, man, just stick that dude in a box.
do you know what the do you know
Kidding.
because that's how you do it there in East Texas. Do you know what the origin of the Polish people are stupid jokes are? Do you know
Nope,
where that comes from? Because
no
you've all
idea.
heard that, right? Polish
Oh
people
yeah,
Polak them.
yeah. Well, we have Aggie jokes down here, but I noticed y'all substitute Polish for Aggie up north.
The origin of that is actually it's quite ironic. Polish people, Polish immigrants in the early part of this century who came to this country were Poland was a very big industrial nation. They had mills, they had steel. They made things. They had factories in Poland and all these kinds of things. So when they emigrated here to America, they had a certain skill set that got them jobs in factories right away. And they were some of the most skilled people in the factories because of their background, because they all had they'd all done these jobs before. But in America, it was also filled with, English speaking people who were working in the factories, the Irish, the working class, the Italians, all of that. And they spoke English. The Polish workers, who were probably more competent at their jobs than the non English speakers, spoke Polish. And so they had to have things explained to them because they didn't speak English. So the jokes became, he's just stupid. He doesn't understand what you're saying. Look at him. He's stupid. So the origin of the Polish people are stupid is actually not because they were stupid. They were actually more competent at their jobs. They just didn't speak the language that the other people at the factories did. And because they came from an industrial place, they were basically the only foreign speakers that worked in the factories. So among the English speaking people in the factory, they were stupid because they didn't speak English. And there you go. There's a little lesson for you. That's why Polish people are called stupid today, because they were actually good at their jobs. They just didn't speak English.
So I met a Polish couple in Merida in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. My wife has family down there. We went down there for a
Fancy.
wedding. Yeah, and so these other people that came down for a wedding because they were friends of the father of the groom. Um, it was the groom's grandparents. They lived across the street from the son, which is where we stayed. But they had a friend that came in for the wedding, a couple, and they were from Poland. And that's really my only other experience with Polish people. They talked about church a lot, and
Mhm.
not like, like, do you believe in Jesus? They were like, and so there's a big cathedral in our hometown that was built in like 1118. Like, it's insanely old. And they're like, in the next town over, we have like the second oldest university in all of Europe. And
Oh
but
yeah, Poland is one of those cultural. I mean, we're talking about a really, really sweet part of the world there. That's
it
the
was cool how
under
proud they were of
Soviet
it, and they kept
ownership.
telling me fun facts. Like they
Mhm.
produce more potassium than everyone but Kazakhstan or something. Like they were.
Brag.
I know
That's a
it's a
weird
weird
brag.
flex.
That's a very weird flex.
Well, it was like I'm not saying that's precisely what it was, but it was just weird random commodity stuff like that.
James, one more for you. Not one more. We'll do more immigrants. Turks. James Parker, your thoughts on the Turks?
Oh man, I know nothing, but I'm a big fan of Turks throughout history, not necessarily recently.
The Ottomans. They had their shit together.
Well, it's just fun. They're parts of so many fun stories. Going back to, uh, I don't know. Do I want to
Because of
nerd
their
out here?
It's because
Like
of
the Lydians
their
and
important strategic location in the world, right
oh,
there.
just incredibly important strategic location, but also for most of their history, they were part of the ancient Greek empires. I mean, going back before even ancient Greece, that's where Troy was. Trojan Wars and Achilles and all
Mhm.
that. So they have basically the oldest history of the Western world, even though they're semi-Eastern now. They really are kind of the bridge between the two, and I hope we kind of tuck them to our side because that would be a big win.
They were the Rome of the Eastern Roman Empire. When the Roman Empire
Well,
split into two,
yeah.
the Western and the East, there was a time in this world not too long ago either, like going back 120 years or so, the Ottoman Empire was the world's lone superpower. They were the ones that everybody looked out for. The
Well, they still existed like 100 years ago, but they were the sick man of Europe by the time World War I started. They
No, yeah,
they
but well, 100 years ago was like, oh, it's 2022. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking like the 1880s and 1870s when they were
that would
basically
yeah
running.
they got disbanded after World War I. They made it all the way to like 1917.
But they were big shooters. They were big players in the world. Very important. Here's what I know about Turks. I have dealt with a number of Turks. They yell a lot. I don't think there's any population of people in the world who smoke more cigarettes, except maybe preteen Vietnamese children. And they're angry people. That's what I know about Turks. Constantly smoking cigarettes. Constantly, just and very hirsute individuals. They've got a lot of hair. They've got big hair. They've got
What?
very hairy people. The Turks, very hairy, dude. You ever go pull up some pictures of Turks? Every Turkish dude has an amazing head of hair. It's thick. It's
Who's
long.
the most famous Turk? Cenk Uygur.
I was like, I don't know, Alexander the Great. I don't
He's
know.
Macedonian.
What
Yeah.
was it? That's the area. Who is the most famous Turk? I don't know. I mean, it would be what's the president there's name? It'd be him. It'd be whoever the dude who's in charge of the dictator.
Erdogan.
Erdogan. Yeah. It'd be that dude. I don't who is that's what Google's for.
Yeah, I know, and this list doesn't help. Suleiman the Magnificent. No, that was like
Suleiman.
no,
There you
God.
go.
That's insane. He died in 1566. Then there's Ataturk. He died in 1938. Yeah, a little before our time. Oh, Mary Magdalene. There you go.
She a Turk?
Well, she was born in what's now Turkey, but that was where a lot of the old Christian cities were, Antioch and Ephesus and
I got him. I got him. Salt Bay. Salt Bay is probably the world's most famous Turk right now, next to Erdogan.
oh, who's Salt Bay?
Oh, you don't know who that dude is? That's that
No.
dude. Oh God, that's the dude who charges like $1,500 for a steak because he comes to your table and he makes the steak and he puts the salt and all the women thirst after him because he's. Oh, okay. You don't know who Salt Bay is? Salt Bay is
Uh,
like this social phenomena that I just don't understand. He's a
I
chef.
don't know.
He's got a
Is
steakhouse.
this a TV show? I don't know.
No, he's got a fancy New York steakhouse that all of like the super elite go to, and it's
Well, I sure
really
as hell am not going
expensive.
there.
Here, we'll give you this. But women, I guess he was. You know what? I think he was in one of the Sex in the Cities. I think that they were all thirsting after him. Hold on,
I've seen all those.
hold on. Let's see. Is Salt Bay? Uh, uh, yeah. All right. Let's see what this is. Hold on. All right. Let's see if we get this guy here. He's just such a douchebag. He's just an immense douchebag who is taking a bunch of rich people for all this money. All right, here. All right, this will be who we're talking about. He's a Turk. He's a big New York guy, like a big famous New York.
Are you about to pull him up? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, you see it? All right,
Best of Salt Bay.
look at this
Yeah,
guy.
do you know who Salt Bay is?
So he like comes to your table and he does this nonsense. He's like an artist with the knife. Very
So he
performative.
puts his finger over. That's how he rubs. You know what? Nah,
Man
I
in the
can't
boat.
see it.
That's how he. Look, that looks amazing, doesn't it? Though, I mean, let's be honest. Look, that's what he does. That's his move. The salt. That's his move. Yeah, he makes a steak sexy.
Oh man, they slow cook it so good the bones just pull out. That's great.
There's not even any juice on that bone. Those bones just pull right out. Yeah. So anyway, his steaks cost like thousands of dollars each, and it's like 10 grand if you want him to come and cook at your table, like, do this whole salt demonstration. His name isn't really Salt Bay. It's just, that's what it's called. Bay, like he's a babe. He's the salt babe. You get it? Oh, forceful. Oh, there's the move. Woo! There's the move. Women are so stupid. You women are so dumb.
Yeah, we're dumber, but they're pretty dumb too.
They've made that guy like an international sensation. He's got restaurants all over the world now. Salt Bay. Mm. All right. Who else? Boy, I'm telling you, the Turks are really underperforming if that's the best we can come up with.
Is that right?
Who's that terrible guy that's oh God, he sucks. What's his name? I can't stand him. The Young Turks guy.
Jank Uyghur.
Oh, that guy's Turkish, right? Young Turks. Gotta be.
Is he really
right?
Turkish though? I don't know. He could be like Puerto Rican.
He's an asshole. I hate that guy.
Really? He actually seems like a nice guy that's sort of just putting it
Oh,
on.
he's so obnoxious. He's so
Yeah, I think
disingenuous.
I get the listen. I get the feeling he's putting on for the camera. Like if he
Yes,
hung
he's
out
the
with us
same
in the
thing as
same
Tucker
room,
Carlson. To me, he is the exact same thing as Tucker Carlson. There is no
right?
legitimacy
And if
to him
we went to
whatsoever.
like the Addison Improv and then Pete's Dueling Piano Bar with either one of these guys, they would be our friends.
Maybe. Not Tucker, not the heir to the Swanson Frozen. No, I couldn't be friends with that guy. That he's a rich 1%er elitist trust fund kid. He's the prep school fat guy.
You live in the 1%er compound. Y'all will have a lot in common.
Are you not listening to me? I hate all of these people.
No, you don't.
Yes,
No,
I
you
do.
don't.
I
No,
have
that's
no
like a
regard
preemptive
whatsoever.
rejection
No,
to
it's not.
shield
No, it is
yourself
not.
from rejection.
No, it is not. I have held these beliefs for a very long time. I would say, of 9 out of 10 people in this neighborhood, I despise. I despise anybody who comes from generational wealth. Now, the people in this neighborhood
Why?
who made, because they were just given every hand up in the world and they're walking around acting like the rest of us are underneath them when in
Well,
fact
some of them are,
no,
but some of them are
no, no,
not.
no,
Some
no. Screw the generational wealth people. Now, the people in this neighborhood who made it on their own, who actually built something up and had success, yeah, those people are cool. I like those people. Like Schwartz. Schwartz is like a real arrogant guy, but it's because he busted his ass. He came from a middle class, working class family in Canada, came down here, busted his ass, and now he lives among these people, and he's fun. He's he's not one of these like Fulton Prescott Jr., the fun. I hate these people. I hate those people. And I see them all the time in this neighborhood. The person who called the police on CeeLo is one of those people.
See, it's impossible to even have these feelings when you come from a smaller size town. There are no Graham Wellington the Fourth. There's none of that. Like, there's no blue bloods here. There's like this one really rich family that started the zoo, right? That's as
Let
good
me
as it
tell you a
gets.
quick story. When I was a young radio producer working my way up at the Loop in Chicago, okay? I started out as an intern, then I went to a tech producer, then I became an associate producer, then I became an exec
Wait,
producer.
wait, wait. Where was traffic in there?
Traffic was before I came to I took the job doing traffic so that I could meet people who worked at the Loop who could then get me into the Loop, because that was the destination. I wanted to work at the Loop radio station, and Shadow Traffic provided traffic reports for all the radio stations. So I knew that if I got a job inside Shadow, then I could buddy up to the traffic reporters for the Loop, and I could say, hey, if they ever have any internship, and it worked. That was my plan, and it worked.
Good hustle, man. Good
So
hustle.
I got in there. I gave up a paying job to take an internship at the radio station I wanted to be at. So I worked my way up. Kelly, bring this up with Kelly because she had the exact same experience. So I had worked my way up the ladder in the salt mines, busting ass, doing it. You know what producers are asked to do when they're interns and they're working their way up. I mean, you guys get put through your paces. We worked
Yep.
hard to make it to the next level, and there was some promise always hanging out there that if we did our jobs well, we would be recognized and we would be given, the next job in line. And there was a very good job coming in. There was I won't go into any more detail than this, but there was a new host coming in and they were launching a new show and they were looking for an executive producer. And I was in line for that job. I was essentially promised that job. And then out of nowhere, the job was given to somebody who had never interned before, never screened a phone call, had no radio background whatsoever. He was just appointed couple years younger than me. He was just appointed the executive producer of that show. Why? Because his father was a billionaire in Chicago who was friends with the owner of the radio station, and little Skippy needed a gig. So guess what happened? They brought him in, and guess what I had to do? I had to train him. I had to train him to do the job that was supposed to be my job. So I said, ask Kelly, because Kelly was also in the running for that job. But this rich generational wealth 1%er very early in my career showed me that this is bullshit. That the whole work hard and pay your dues only applies to a certain class of people. And James, you and me are in that class. It doesn't apply to another class of people who can just walk in when daddy says, my son will not be fetching coffee. My son is going to run the show. And then they need me to teach him how to screen calls, to teach him how to put a show log together, teach him how to do the emergency broadcast systems. So that's where my hatred of the generational wealth 1%er comes from. Goes all the way back to my mid-20s.
Yeah, well, there's no way I can argue with your personal experience. So that's
And
quite unfortunate.
that's why I personally do not like. It's the reason I left that radio station. I left that. I was so bitter about that another show that was at the station that I loved, who I was friends with, they got a big job doing mornings. They were a nighttime show, and they got a job doing mornings at another radio station, the alternative rock station in town. And the opportunity arose for me to come and be the executive producer over there. And I was like, yeah, fuck the loop, fuck this place.
Right? The
I'm
radio
going with,
station you used to love.
and I still do. I mean, I still wear the T-shirt, and I have
You
great
know,
affection for that place.
right?
It's my university. It's my college
Sure.
days. That's what I like to consider.
So this is what we like about sports is they just can't randomly stick the billionaire sons at quarterback. They have to like actually that it doesn't matter if you come from absolute white trash, black trash, ghetto, rural, upper crust, Matt Stafford, whatever the middle ground he is, all these people. It's a meritocracy, and that's why we appreciate like actual meritocracies because there is no skipping the line. There is no. That's the problem with our job is we work in a rhetorical industry where you can
Yeah.
actually know the guy that gets your tape and tells you he likes you. And then when the guy like steps down, they hire Megan McCain. Why? Because of her freaking dad. Not because she's never done one day of radio in her entire life. But there's value to that though, because she can just get like, like Lindsey Graham or Nancy Pelosi or people on the phone in a day, and I can't. I don't know their cell phone number. So I mean, there's a little bit of value to that if it can pay off, but it just sucks because it's an advantage that they didn't earn. And
I'm stunned. I'm stunned by Jeff and Will taking up for the 1% class. When did the working middle of America suddenly start making I sound like a millennial because I was pissed and moved on because somebody who didn't deserve the job but had a connected father was given the job in place of somebody. You just mentioned a meritocracy. I believe that if we all subscribe to the idea that merit is rewarded, that's not being a millennial. And I
well,
did.
it's not a universal yes or no. We work in a rhetorical industry, so what we do is not a meritocracy. The NFL, the NBA, these things are pure meritocracies, and
Yeah.
there's other jobs that are like that. Like a heart surgeon, they can't just scoot a guy in there who's going to kill guys on operating tables every night. They really do have to go out there and get the best and the brightest. That's a meritocracy. But what we do is a rhetorical industry. There is no negative consequences if we don't do our job well. And there's a lot of jobs like that, like there's a lot of bad actors who are making millions of dollars doing crap jobs on films, but their name on a poster sells more tickets than you or I would. So even though we could do a better job at it, we work in a rhetorical industry.
Yeah. We'll see. You weren't digging ditches, Pugs. No, Will, but I
Yeah,
promise you.
damn right.
But I promise you, I was working more hours than people who dig ditches. I was putting in like 60 hours a week. James, is that wrong? When you are coming up in radio and you are interning, especially, well, I mean, I don't know if you worked with us, so maybe it was different. I mean, I worked for a big time syndicated show. I didn't have Saturdays or Sundays off. I was running best ofs. I was working Monday through Friday. I was showing up at 3:30 in the morning because we were a morning show and not leaving until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 7 days a week. I'm not complaining. I loved it. You're right. I wasn't digging ditches, but there are other kinds of stresses and work related difficulties other than just physical manual labor. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, you spend 8 hours in a closet cutting tape. I mean, it ain't fun. It's just not. It's difficult work. And yeah, and I work way more hours than people digging ditches. People digging ditches in most cases, or at least where I'm from, they're in a union. At least they have some kind of protection. I didn't. I was just completely, you do what you do. And if you work harder than the next guy, then you'll get the next job. And, that didn't happen. The next job was given to a billionaire's kid who had absolutely zero experience. And that's why I left. I didn't complain about it. A millennial might go, "Oh, poor me." No, I fucking left. I took a bigger job at another station with a show that left. So, I mean, but I don't have to be okay with it. Like, is that the complaint, that I sound like a millennial? I'm not okay with. Why would you be okay with that? Why wouldn't you use that as fuel as you motor through the rest of your life? Why wouldn't you remember that slight? Why wouldn't you let that fuel you? I mean, I guess I don't get the criticisms.
Oh, I agree on both counts. Like, but I think you're both right. Like, people complain about that probably too much, but you were just complaining about it because it actually happened to you and you were telling the story. And I think Will's probably coming from a context where he's tired of hearing sad woe is me stories, but I think he kind of missed the part where you didn't just sit there and take it. You
No.
rebounded out and got a better job. So
Yeah.
I don't think
I didn't let him do that to me, and I'm allowed to complain about it. I'm
Hey, look,
allowed to say,
it's all right. Hey, some people get an advantage. That's one of the foibles that we inherit when we choose one of these rhetorical non-meritocracy industries,
"Mm." Well,
right?
it's supposed to be meritocracy. It's supposed to be based on talent. It's supposed
You
to
know
be
what the
based on
worst,
ability.
you know what the least meritocracy meritorious industry is probably the music industry. The greatest musicians are not in the top 10. Britney freaking
No, absolutely right.
Spears, who
Yeah.
plays no instruments and can barely sing, is in the top 10. And I don't mean, I just mean that metaphorically. People like Britney Spears who don't know jack squat about music, have had no real vocal training, or, I'm sure she had some Disney vocal coaches somewhere in there, but she's not a musician. She's not top 10 musician, but the music charts are dominated by people who are just there for style far over substance or ability.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just shocked because I have to assume that Will C and Jeff Ballard, I assume that they are middle class, working class people, and they seem to be suffering from that mansion on the hill syndrome that I talk about. That I'm going to mentally align myself with a class of people that wouldn't invite me to dinner if it was their last day on earth. Just because that's just shocking to me. We need to stop idolizing these one percenters, these generational wealth, these people who skate through life when the rest of us don't get to skate through life. And that's not a complaint. It is an
Dude, most of them are
observation.
like Amel. Amel's one of these one percenter
No, he's
guys.
not. No, he's not. Amel's a grinder. Amel 3 years ago didn't have a pot to piss in. He's a grinder.
Well, I know that's the point though.
His
Like, and
grandpa didn't leave him $15 million when he graduated from high school, like most of the people in this neighborhood. That's the difference.
I'm
There's a
just
leg
saying that that's the story of most of the people that are kind of in that 1%. Like, they are right on the heels of, if not the guys who made the money. It's not that bad.
Oh, you know what? I'd have to say, I certainly not this neighborhood. This is an old money neighborhood. This is a money with the hunts. This is an old money neighborhood, dude. Most of the people that live here are generational wealth. They're
Yeah,
kids.
but most of the kids of those generational wealth people are still decent. There's a lot of douchebags in there for sure, but there's also a lot of
Qualify
douchebags that are
that. I
coming
mean,
out of trailer parks, and
oh yeah, no, you're right. The
it's
wealthy
it's
one
probably
percenters
this
don't have the lock on being douchebags. No, but there
right.
is
It's probably
entitlement.
about the same proportion though, a
I don't
similar
like
proportion.
elitists and I don't like entitlement. And those are two things that are very common among the one percenters: elitism and entitlement.
No,
I hate rich people. That's the bottom line. I hate rich people. And I would love to be a rich person, but I wouldn't be a dick
what
about it.
about poor people? Do you hate poor people?
No, some, yeah, some like the ones who break into my car and
See, that's
shit
how I
my
feel about rich people.
pants.
Yeah, I mean, I hate some, but it doesn't matter here nor there whether or not they're rich. They're just as likely to be good or bad people if they're rich or
Well,
if they're
yeah,
poor.
but
I
there's a
think the
motivational
proportions.
difference. There's a motivational difference. A poor person who does some of the things that I hate about them might be doing that out of necessity and survival. Rich people who are
Oh,
just
they're just
assholes are
stealing bread for their kids. Is that what they're doing?
but if you fall into a life of crime, it's because you didn't exactly have the best launching point for your life. That's if you join a gang at 13 years old, you obviously weren't attending karate class,
Right.
after your prep school. There's a whole
And that's why they're stealing your car at gunpoint. So I got you, but that still makes them, pretty damn bad compared to the guy
absolutely
that's just a
not making
douchebag
excuses.
who's
Right.
always orders the most expensive thing on the menu just to rub it in your face.
Yeah, but
Like, you
that's
should.
not you're minimizing it. That's not the worst thing that they do. That is not the worst thing that they do.
Do they take your car at gunpoint?
No, but they steal your grandma's 401k and they screw you over with the bankings and all that shit. The people who run the world are screwing over the middle class, and you're minimizing it like, oh, they're just rude to me when I
Dude,
jog
that's not
by.
who lives in Highland Park. You're talking about people who have like a lair in a skull island somewhere, like with a big skull
No. Those are
carved
the
out of the
people who
mountain.
are you kidding me?
Cobra Commander or Bruce Wayne
Dude,
or something.
the owner of the fifth largest bank in the world lives 2 blocks away. Dean, he's the wealthiest man in Dallas. Dean, what is his name? His last name is the name of the bank. What are you talking about?
Chase?
Hunt? No, Dean. Hold on here. Hold on. Wealthiest person in Dallas.
Bank of America.
Beal. It's hold on. And then there's the other people who own the world's second largest hedge fund who lived on. I mean, hold on, wait a second.
What,
Wealthiest?
Vanguard?
No, no. Highland Capital, I think. Hold on. Wealthiest people in Dallas. Who is this guy? It is. Is it Beal? Beal Bank. Andrew Beal. That's him. Andrew Beal of Beal International
Okay,
Bank.
so out of this tippy top 1%,
Wachovia.
I submit.
Wachovia.
So
On the block.
out of this tippy top 1%, I
Mhm.
think they probably have a success failure rate about 70-30. Like 70% of them turn out to be cool, 30% of them turn out to be horrible douchebags. Some of them end up, just
Wait
like
a second. You
addicts.
say 7 out of 10 are cool?
7 out of 10, yeah, or average or above, and
So
really only
7 out
3 out of.
so 7 out of 10 poor people who join gangs and stuff, they're cool too? Is that
No,
what?
no, no, no. I'm saying in the poor ranks, 7 out of 10 turn out to be just fine, upstanding people. 3 out of 10 end up being, douchebags or failed attempts at humanity. And for the people that are in that 1%, they're less likely to like rob from you or steal it from you or commit acts of violence against you. So while they are bad, it's a better form of failure. At least, like if you could give them anything, these aren't the people that are shooting up birthday parties and drive-bys in the bad part of town.
The hedge fund I was thinking of was TPG, David Bonderman of TPG, which is a private equity firm, one of the second largest in the world. Lives just a
I
couple
feel
of
like I
blocks
should know that, and I don't.
away. Who else do we have in this neighborhood? Kelsey Warren, Rayleigh Hunt, of course, Hunt from Hunt Oil,
Dean Wachovia.
Gene Wachovia, right?
I like that. That's a good one.
Let's see,
Well done,
Todd
Joe.
Wagner. That's not big there. Who else? Billionaire founder of Huntington Oil, largest private oil company in the world. Okay, that's another neighbor here. John Goff, founder of Crescent Real Estate, one of the 5 largest real estate holding firms in the world. I mean, these are the 1%. These people also have private islands. They just happen to live here. Their kids have to go to school somewhere. I hate this neighborhood. I mean, I love this neighborhood. Don't get me wrong. I love this neighborhood.
Of course.
I love running around. It's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. I love jogging. I love the parks. The parks are unbelievable. I just hate the people. Most of them. Most of them. Do you know that this neighborhood has a dude, James? This is how crazy this freaking neighborhood is. This neighborhood has a dude who just walks up and down the blocks covered in exotic parrots.
Like every day or
Every day on my
what's
run.
his bit? Why is he doing this?
His bit is that he goes from park to park and he hits up the parents of kids at the park for money to pet the parrots. He's got gigantic. I've never seen anything like that anywhere.
Oh, okay.
He's the parrot guy.
Is that a pretty good living, I guess?
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. Dallas parrot guy, Highland Park, Dallas. Highland Park parrot guy. Apparently, he's been doing it for years too, because he's like, oh yeah, that he's an institution. I'm like, really?
Right?
That's what a neighborhood. Hold on, Highland Park parrot guy. Let me see. Parrot guy. Let's see. Neighbors complain. Oh, some neighbors complained about the parrot guy. Of course, they don't like them. Well, it is kind of like a weird. Hey, kid, want to touch my bird? It is kind of like
It's weird, yeah.
It is a weird career choice.
Yeah, I always thought it'd be funny if like our version of busking, you know what a busker is?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a guy who stands out in front of a place and tries to encourage people to come in,
Yeah,
or plays music for money.
yeah,
Both of them.
plays music for tips
Mhm.
on the street. So there's people that play guitar. There's people that go out and they bother to drag their keyboard out there. There's people that just play drums on like a bucket. We could go out there and just do what we do and just kind of bullshit about what's trending on Twitter or Elon Musk or whatever. That would be our busking thing. Do you think that would fly? Do you think if you were like at the park or if you were at like Pirates Alley in the French Quarter in New Orleans and some guy is just out there, riffing on the new Lizzo show, that you would drop a couple of bucks in his tip jar?
Well, it depends on where. It wouldn't happen here. We get the police called on us if we tried to do that shit in some Highland Park.
So, is there a place for us though
No.
to apply our craft in public like that in busking fashion?
Yes. What do they call it? I believe it isn't it called what is it called? It's a famous place in London. You know where they all step up on the box and then the people basically
Was that
do
like
commentary.
Piccadilly Circus or something?
No, no, no. It's a famous place in London, and it's for hundreds and hundreds of years. People go out there and they put a crate in the middle of the square, and they stand up on the crate, and then a crowd comes around them, and they're not playing music or anything.
So there might be one place, and
They offer
it's in
social
London.
commentary. Yeah,
Okay.
here. What is it? Hold on. What's a play? No, jeez. Isn't Google wonderful? What that's called? How would I even ask Google? What's the place square? It's something square in London where people talk. I don't know. That's the
All
best.
right. Hey, so Cenk Uygur was born in Istanbul, Turkey.
Oh, there you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
well, I'm a big fan of Istanbul because that's the home of Bald Bull from Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh yeah, I remember Bald Bull.
Yeah.
This isn't what it's called. It's called. It says the Wikipedia page that comes up is Speaker's Corner. Speaker's Corner is an area where open air public speaking, debate, and discussion are allowed. The original and best known is the northeast corner of Hyde Park, London. Historically, but it's called something.
No, Dominic says Speaker's Corner. That's what it's called, Speaker's Corner.
Yeah, but it's also known by something else.
Did you say it with the British accent though?
No, I didn't.
Try it like that and see if that rings a bell.
Speaker. I don't want to do it. Yeah, so they got that. They got that in London. So we could do like amateur podcasting hot takes. I like Jeff though. Jeff wants to know if the parrot guy here in Highland Park makes any money because he's got rabbits and shit. He'll just bring on out here. Who wants to touch a rabbit? Hey kids.
Hey kids, you want some candy?
Our listeners are the most fun. Jeff says, is Highland Park one of these? I seen a man with dirty blue jeans and dirt on his face call the cops. Absolutely 100%. Yes, that is exactly what this neighborhood is.
Yeah, because if you're walking around with dirty blue jeans and dirt on your face in the middle of Highland Park, you don't belong there.
Well, certainly after 6 p.m. I mean, because there's a lot of dudes. This neighborhood
They're stumbling over from the other side of Lemon or whatever right there, right?
Well, traffic in this neighborhood. This is one of the craziest observations that I had upon moving into this part of town. Between like say 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., there is more traffic in this neighborhood than any other neighborhood I've ever lived in, because absolutely everybody in this neighborhood has a pool guy, a landscaper, a fix-it guy, delivery trucks, Amazon. Everybody in this neighborhood gets at least 5 Amazon packages a day. It is insane. And there is so many workmen in this neighborhood just doing, not like, I mean, there's some houses that like they buy a $5 million house, tear it down and put up a $10 million house, a new one, they're doing
Oh yeah.
So that stuff is happening. But then even these beautiful homes that look perfect, they've constantly got a guy, a Hispanic guy with a ladder, up there doing something. They're constantly with the upkeep. It is insane with pickup trucks in this neighborhood between 8 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock at night. It is. And do you know what else they get in this neighborhood? Check this out. Wrap your mind around this. Garbage pickup every single day. Every single day.
Nice.
Every day. Normal garbage 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesdays is for recycling, and Thursdays is brush, like, leaves and shit like that. But, and bulk. Thursday is brush and bulk. 5 days a week, these people get sanitation service. 5 days a week.
They probably pay more than I do.
Yeah, probably. Oh, I mean, come on. You know what the taxes are around this place? I mean, I'm living here for free. I mean, look, I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. They're gonna have to ask me to leave. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. But I don't know. You could. All right, that was a fun show. I picked the fight.
Bugs.
I picked a fight with some of my favorite chatters. Will C and Jeff Ballard.
Hey, what's that over there? Pugs, look over there. No, over there. Look.
Why did he do that? Did you see what he did there? Did you see? That's like his thing now. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Oh, let's see. I don't know where to be. Look at how many people these horrible rich people employ. Stop it, Will. Stop it. Stop sucking up to the slave masters. I swear to God, I don't understand. I don't understand. You people, fine, whatever. Hey, we come from different perspectives on this. I'm a working class guy. I come from working class roots. Like I said, my grandpa was a milkman. Ain't nobody left me a couple $1 million when they passed away. I had a very nice career. I tanked it on my own accord. I made my choices and I live with my choices. However, I didn't have a safety net. I didn't have, some generational wealth floating around that a lot. Well, then you should have been smarter about it. Yes, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh well, here I am. Do you know what I wanted to talk about? Crumb suckers might as well call us crumbs. No. We're not crumb suckers. We are the middle class of this country. We are the working class of this country. We made this country, and we are the most disrespected social sect in this country. And that's what I've got a problem with. I don't understand why so many of the working middle class in this country have been bamboozled by people who are simply manipulating them to. We don't need to get into it. If we all came together, if the middle class came together and said, you know what, we're going to take what's ours. You know what that's called? The French Revolution. That's right. La Marseillaise, people. That's what we could use in this country. We build the guillotines. Let's trot them all out. Let's lop their heads off and let's start again. Okay, that's not really a good idea. I don't want to go that far, but I certainly do. It was Jeff Bezos owns one of the largest newspaper publishing companies in the world. Elon Musk now owns Twitter. What else do we have? I mean, we are talking about the public square being completely owned and operated now by a billionaire class that wants us to think what they want us to think. Fucking hate it, man. I fucking hate it. I'm very upset about this stuff. And I'm not telling you should be too. You're all smart people. You're all decent people. You're all hardworking people. We're all allowed to think about things the way we want to think about them. So no judgment here. That's not what I'm trying to get at. And I also would hope that at least among us, the middle, the struggling middle, that is, we're being attacked from the poor. They're taking our shit. And then the rich on the other end, they're squeezing us out as well. We're all just like, look, I get it. You're given the choice. You're going to side with the rich people because it's aspirational. But stop siding with both. Side with one another. Side with the middle class. Let the middle class come together in this country. The working class, the working people come together the way we did after World War II, the greatest generation, all of that nonsense. Well, that's dead because everybody has mansion on the hill syndrome. Oh, that mansion. One day I'll be living in that mansion. And so before that day comes, I'm just going to align myself with the people who live in those mansions because then maybe they'll invite me to a dinner party. We should be angry. The people of this country should be angry. And a lot of people are angry. I just think that their anger is misguided. I think that a lot of everybody's, what are you saying? Everybody's angry. And we're all pissed off about something, right? Everybody's angry. It's who we're angry at that we need to get on the same page with. Look at me going off, acting like we're here at Speaker's Corner or wherever it is. I don't know. I didn't intend to get into this conversation. Yeah, I know. Too many people are greedy. All right. Hey, I love you guys. I love that we have these conversations each and every night here on the show. I appreciate you. And I really, you know what? Hey, man, we had some donations today. I wanted to thank some people who came through in a big way. My boy John came through in a big way. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Oh, see, I don't like to get into this too. I don't like to do this because then Joel, thank you so much to Joel. He made a donation today. Thank you to April. You made a donation to the show today. April's so great. John, who else? I hate doing this because I'm always afraid I'm going to miss somebody. And everybody, your tips are so appreciated. This is how we do the show. Hey, saving me from digging ditches, which, quite frankly, I'm probably going to have to do that. Steve helped out today with a tip, so we're getting closer. I do appreciate all the support. We do 2 shows a day. The first one comes on at noon. This is like PBS, I don't have tote bags for you. We'll get back to regular programming. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. All right. I hate that James just left. Thank you, John. John's got the back of this show every month. John's there. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And most of you people, a lot of you guys are. So many of you are. Will, thank you so much for all the Jeff. It's all of us. We can fight, we can argue, we can have these disagreements, but you support the show, you help it continue, and you have no idea how much I appreciate that. So thank you very much. One working class who, this isn't digging ditches. I totally I recognize that. But it is emotionally draining. It is really emotionally draining. I'm all worked up now. You know what I did? You know what I had today? Oh God. So I'm struggling. I'm on my diet. I'm struggling. Today was like the 4th cheat day in a row because I had my kid over the weekend and I can't be on a diet when he's here. He's a growing young man. He's so big. We were comparing our calves. We were laying in bed watching TV. We were comparing our calves. His calf is like twice the size of mine. I'm a grown ass man, and I'm not a small man. I'm 6 foot tall, 240 pounds now. I am not a small man. He's 12 years old. His shoes are a size larger than mine, and his calves are like twice the size of mine. He's just massive. So we ate normal food for like the last 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then Monday we ate normal food again. And then I took him back because he was off school yesterday, and I took him back today. And he left 4 ice cream sandwiches. We bought ice cream sandwiches. He left 4 ice cream sandwiches in the freezer. I can't be on a diet with ice cream sandwiches anywhere near me. So, of course, I had to eat all 4 ice cream sandwiches today. 160 calories each. 60, 60, 120, that's 240. 4, 5, 6. Like 700-800 calories today is all I've had in ice cream sandwiches. I'm a mess, people. I am a mess. Don't listen to a damn thing I say. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I am an absolute train wreck of an individual. All right, that's going to do it for the show. I do, what's my kid listening to? My kid is right now listening to Spotify. I'm getting really tired of, look, I have Spotify and my son and I share an account. I just need to play my closing theme. And all right, I'm gonna switch over from him. And he's right now gonna be upset because his music just ended. That's okay. He can enjoy 3 minutes or so of John Hinckley. I don't like my mood today. I gotta apologize to you. I gotta come completely clean. I don't know why I'm all amped up. The show started out with a cop in my backyard going, and then the dog is a problem. That's not your problem. It's just that I'm trying to, maybe that explains why it is that I'm so agitated and particularly upset at my rich neighbors for calling the police on my dog. Don't even start with me on that. Oh, Will, you're a good guy. Good night, Leslie. I love you, Leslie. Yeah, John, go see Big Dick Hunter. Go see Big Dick and tell him I said, hey, I'd love to have Big Dick on. We should have. I should reach out to him. Big Dick Hunter, for those of you who don't know, he was a talk show host here in the Dallas market. He used to be on the same station that I was on here. He's one of the most interesting people that I've ever met in my life. He is legitimately the Forrest Gump. He's the closest thing to Forrest Gump that I'll give you an example. Remember when Lamar Odom OD'd in the brothel? Yeah, it was Big Dick Hunter who found him. It was big. I swear to God. I'll never forget when that happened. When that happened, I get a phone call, just a random phone call, and I look at the phone and it's BDH. That's what we call him, Big Dick Hunter. Richard Hunter is his name. And I pick it up. I'm like, hey, what's up, Dick? And he goes, hey, man, you got a minute? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you want to hear a crazy story? And I go, yeah. And he goes, do you know about the Lamar Odom story? And I go, yeah, it's breaking everywhere today. It's crazy. What? He goes, yeah, I found him. And then he was on Extra. He was on, yeah. Tell Big Dick I miss him. Tell Big Dick we got to get him on the show. Go see him. I don't know. I've never seen his comedy. Well, I mean, I saw his comedy early on. But he's an old pro at stand-up comedy now. Cheryl. You're wonderful, Cheryl. Just the fact that you have that concern warms my heart. You're beautiful. I am on a never-ending quest. Yeah, thank you, Sally. Tomorrow is another day. Best is yet to come. Look at what we did there. All right, bye, folks. Be well. Join us tomorrow at noon. We'll run through all the day's topics together. We'll hot takes and all that kind of stuff. You're the best. Thanks for allowing me to do this. Bye, everybody. That is all I need. I don't need no 401. I don't have the greed. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never. You know what? Hold on. I'm sorry. I just wanted to jump back in here. Al, if you're still in there, whatever happened to Jagger and Mondo Mike? Mondo got sick. That's the last thing I remember about Mondo. I think Mondo got sick, but then I think he got better, and I think that Mondo is doing well. Jagger lives in the Pacific Northwest now. That's the only update that I have for you on that. Quest. Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I can smile a little now, things are going good. I always had to be on guard, that is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.